Hi. So, today there's not going to be a live stream. I just want to talk about the state of the project that I'm working on right now in Miliastra Wonderland. I just wanted to do let's say, kind of Diablo-esque, kind of hack and slash, but based on elemental reactions, right? Like you can pick several different attacks here, like a combo bolt or fireball, and yeah, I'm still in the. Ooh, that got quite stronger. In the process of just learning on what I can really achieve. The plan is in the end to have like 7 arenas, and you will be able to pick 1 auto attack, 1 skill, and 1 ultimate, but of the element of your choosing. That is kind of the idea. And for now, I'm still thinking about what kind of fun projectiles or what kind of fun skills I can implement. Right now, it seems really that like server entities are not super great to deal damage. I tried to do server-based projectiles, and they didn't work out so well. So right now my current state is that I have a few of them implemented. I don't really know whether Hydro still doesn't work. I wanted to have like a constant a constant stream of water during a hold and charge attack, but that doesn't seem to work. So this would be the next thing that I want to fix today. And I also want to check how I can deploy, for example, a server AoE field and trigger hits in that, because I felt that the hit detection of server objects was not too great. Who are you? Why are you here? You don't belong here. So this was my Hydro 2 upgrade. Oh yeah, and also for that I need basically a prefab that gives me skills. That's basically how it works right now. Like I have all of these different prefabs here, which are my different elemental upgrades. And I think I'm gonna use the basic battle attributes, the level, if I can query that to determine what kind of skill you get. For that, we will have to go back into our node graph editor, the server one, where we have to gain skill on pickup, which is the thing that is attached to here, right? But now I don't only need to set 1 skill, but 3 skills. So we will add the 3 variables. Oh, that's server signals. Well, that's not correct. Ooh. I'm not sure what this was, but I will need this soon, because the client side is not very powerful. You don't have a lot of nodes there. Basically, you can launch attacks and projectiles and do like on-hit handling. I don't think that you can do much more. I'm not even sure if I can actually produce something like damage over time or something. But that's still why I'm here, and I'm going to find that out and kind of document it from time to time. Yeah, so also Gemini has something to to parse, right? It's just getting it out there. So unfortunately, I changed the wrong thing here. I had that working already, the owner entity. That's probably fine. What I really do need are the node graph variables. We need 2 more here, 2 public variables. That will be skill 2 and skill 3, which are also configuration IDs. And then basically we have to add, like, get the attribute of our prefab and see whether it is what level it is. Get character attribute, I'm not sure. Entity advanced attribute. Object attribute. Oh, there's a level, okay. So our entity is get custom variable. No. Then please, of our object entity, give us the level and put that into the control expression. So, and when we have basically disconnecting these, because okay, I only have one special effect. Yeah, that should be fine, I assume. So after we check that we are really a player, a character, please use the level of that thing, which usually is level 1. But it can be 1, 2, or 3. 2 or 3. Right now I already implemented 1. I actually think that these are... After adding the character skill, destroy the entity, but we want to mount the looping effect before. So basically we want to disconnect both of these, have our switch here. Level 2 and level 3. Add character skill where? Oh. Let's go 1. And we also need that for 2 and 3. Oh. Skill 2 and skill 3. Bloop and... oh well. That was too smart. This and this, and that wasn't very tidy. Even though that visual scripting stuff is never really tidy. So we have 1, we have 2, and we have 3. And all of these will ultimately lead in here. Bloop. And bloop. And this will then lead into destroy entity. And this is debatable. To be fair, I don't know if I want to have destroy entity in here for now. Okay, so now I can have multiple skills. Then let's go with some skill that I thought will be like just an AoE. Cryo, for example, but I haven't even done Cryo 1 yet. So for what I'm trying to do first is to kind of get a feeling on how I have to do things here. Like, do I have to do all of these skills like I did now with skills and projectiles? Because they are calculated client side. But the issue with projectiles is that your only logic that you can add is an ability unit. So this is basically limited to attacking playing a visual effect, adding or removing a status, creating another projectile, destroy self or recover HP. Which is not a great selection because I'm not sure how to trigger repeatedly, for example. That's something that you could maybe do with a repeating trigger. You could have a repeating trigger. With a trigger interval. So that's definitely possible to create like an aesthetic AoE visual effects projectile. I actually want to just spawn more enemies now, and where's my spawn box? Spawn box. Right now I'm spawning 3 enemies. I am also not quite sure why it just doesn't really seem to work. Usually I have like separate pools that should be spawned, but it will always just select 0, I think. Which is odd. Not really sure what comes out here. Maybe the local variable is the issue. I still haven't really figured out like what are the nitty-gritties of the local variables when it comes to scoping and like just how they work. You know, do I have a reference? Do I have value? I know that I have reference and value here, but I'm not quite sure whether over loop iterations that will last. Like, I think it makes sense how I did it. I'm not just quite sure why my weighted random here doesn't work. But no, I'm just spawning more enemies because I kinda want to... I just want to see if I create a prefab that will be like an AoE field. So we're starting with an empty object, right? Don't need you for now. And we have a VFX playing of I think I saved a cool VFX for a Thundercloud already, for rain. Summerchural. I draw something. Summerchural. It was also a looping effect. I can rotate that or zoom that further, I guess. Ooh. Okay. So now we have like our effect, right? But what I want is an hit trigger on the detection. The area is more like a capsule, I guess. More like 10 radius. Pretty much, yeah. But in here we almost have the same things. But I just want to test it. I think I'm going to just set that in the scene and we'll check with my player. On a trigger settings, editability unit. Ooh, also interesting. Go to editability units. Are they here? Ah, there are ability units. Okay, interesting. So when you're in the basic attributes of any model, there is ability units down below, which is good. Very good. So it can do a hitbox attack, but it can also do a direct attack. Because otherwise it would scale, right, quadratically, which is bad. So direct attack just deals direct damage, while hitbox attack will at each target create a box that deals damage. It's basically splash damage. And we don't want that. We just want a field that deals like low hydro damage. I haven't gotten into the damage scalings yet. I will do that later to kind of try to balance it with also like enemy tiers that I set and enemy levels. But that's like the number tweaking part that I will do after everything works. For now, I'm just going to add one for everything. Just add an element here. The hit type here would be piercing attack, I guess. Attack type is one true damage. No, that's probably good, but I'm not sure yet. Just haven't done the math. I hope that in the end I can make it very simple and literally add like somewhat of a static damage to like all the projectiles. So I have more chance of balancing them, but I also wanted to scale with level because I think that it will be like a rogue like where you level from 1 to 100 or whatever within like half an hour or so. That's not set in stone, all of this. I'm not really sure about the multiplayer viability of this, you can definitely do it, but I don't know if the server will just go down and how laggy it will be. But this is kind of the thing why I'm trying to do as many things as I can with projectiles and not with server entities, because I think that the servers are really slow. Like, I tried to already make a like kind of physics simulation, and even if they kind of promise you that you get like a 60 FPS tick, it's didn't feel very smooth. Did feel like a lot of variability. And I mean, it's what you see in Genshin Impact, right? The pings are like usually not that great if you're here in Europe. At least mine is not. So on HUD performance, do we have just Yeah, maybe Hydro Bubble, who knows. Tag, whatever. And there is an attack, and there's also a destroy self one usually, which is not here. Okay, that's interesting. Can I rename this please to Hydro Hit? Okay, that's interesting. Every 2 seconds. But we want it to be static, yeah? So this would be the environment rain kind of thing. Right. So I'm gonna add a new tab here, hazards. Or stage. Change tab, stage. So yeah, in the end, I really also hope that I will have like a loot system and a shop where you can then buy items that affect your damage, or it will most likely just scale your EM or give some attack. I really try to keep the math here kind of easy. Oh, it would be really nice to do this on Brock. A drag and drop or something. So we are going to do this in skills here. We have set our on-hit detection, right? Repeating trigger, we definitely have to disable the native collision, because if you have native collision, then it will just be blocking, and we don't want that. Initial create, whatever. We have our ability unit here. But this definitely needs, yeah, the ability unit needs to be in the trigger. And then that way it should be fine, I guess. Let's see. Bloop. Especially if it doesn't move. Maybe the collision is better. It was kinda shit for moving projectiles. Server side. But yeah. Oh, I destroyed gain skill and pickup. No, I cannot pick up skills. Okay, but yeah, that works, which is great. I mean, the aggro is also not set yet, but that doesn't matter. My gain skill and pickup didn't work, which is not great. Where's my log? What wasn't open? Me. Gain skill and pickup. Yes, please. I mean, I think it's pretty easy to understand why. Because all of this has changed. And I have to adjust my prefabs. Oh. Ah, that was cleared as well. Oh, that's bad. Okay. Then I have to reset all of my skills now. So we have Electro. Boop, 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 whatever. For now, that's fine. You can go. Geo doesn't have anything. Hydro does have a skill, which is here. You always have to copy the configuration ID and put that into our node graph variables. So that's the hydro for now. You know, we also could do a hydro. Oh, why is what? Do I have a hydro upgrade in the hydro? Why is that? Okay. And this. I don't know. Okay, next skill. Pyro. That was incorrect. So Let's go animal. Where's our animal upgrade? Was it this? Oh yeah, it was. Boom, boom, boom. And we could also create Hydro 2 already. Because I think I can... The bad thing about using projectiles, I think, compared to this, is that I'm not really able to control a lot of things with the projectiles. Like, let's say I want to make an area that rains meteorites. That can maybe be arranged. But I also don't know how to delay things. Really. Like, it... For a projectile, you know, if we have projectiles, they cannot do a lot of things. Like, you can do things at the end of the life cycle, or you can have on-hit effects. But that's kind of the only callbacks that you get. Quick interruption. Okay, I had such bad results with my first projectiles that I just don't really believe that this is really working out well. So let's I also want to add like a motion device, but just a basic motion device. A follow motion device would also be interesting, but you could do that also with a projectile. But I really just want a path motion device. Path movement that loops back and forth, round trip, and we add some waypoints. Yeah, well, let's do more. I want more speed. I want 10 speed. And then we are going to see how this will affect entities with a server controlled moving entity that collision checks. Why Genshin pickup doesn't... Oh. It's not initially active. Okay. But I want to fix my gain skill on pickup anyway. So I also want to shoot stuff. I think they should be fixed now. I'm not sure what is missing here. I also didn't have a look in my log. Was not a character. Okay. This animal should work. Unless I screwed up. Did it change? No. I am now Claire Mage 3. Oh, the Electro worked. That's good. I still forgot to move the rain thing. Where's the environment? Here. Oh, I added it there. Well, that's editing. We want path movement to 10 round trip when it's initially active. Oh, yes. I don't know if it really saves that then, because there was an updated version. Yeah, it doesn't. Oh, whatever. Yeah, that's fast enough. Let's go. Doesn't look too bad, actually. I mean, I can achieve... Something like this I couldn't achieve. But it's good to know that it works. Because for my stage hazards, I will definitely need that. I mean, I can achieve most of the things I want to do, I think, with projectiles. Because I had the impression that, especially for like the electro things, that they just didn't hit correctly. And they do. I mean, for the big thing, it's actually nice that it works and that I can move that around with something else than a basic or linear projectile motion device. Like this, I can now do paths with that will damage you, which is nice. My other skills didn't really work, right? Pyro does work. Even though it doesn't explode at the end of its lifetime, which I really wanted. What else do I have? Hydro. The non-working Hydro, which just lets you run fast for now. Oh, that's really bad. But I still haven't found a repeating trigger. I actually kind of like that Rain Cloud can move around. I will just change that a lot. But I will keep the... I'll definitely make Bezier curves. So like 3. Is there a time for the movement? Is that a seconds? Ah, yeah, okay. It's more like 5 seconds. Yeah. The magnitude. Damn. Not as easy, unfortunately. Oh, that was Y. Yeah, that's definitely not happening. Oops. It's maybe a little bit too much. So I'll definitely keep that as a stage hazard somewhere. I could also just leave out the damage here, I think. Yeah, but the cool thing is that I can attach a node graph where I can do like logic, which is not easy, and you just don't have a server tick in the local or client scripts. Get effect or not on nothing. Oh, okay. It's when it's get hit. But I cannot also just add status. Right? Oh. Value piercing attack. I cannot just add status. That's interesting. Because the projectiles can actually have an ability unit that lets them destroy themselves and add a status to the enemy, like affected by Hydro. And unfortunately, that is not possible for the ability units here. I mean, you can do that in a node graph. Much better. I assume that it works in the projectiles, but it just doesn't work on itself. I mean, I could just try to see whether if I'm just doing like 0 damage, if it will then just apply the status. Because on the server I cannot really spawn a projectile, I don't think. Not really. Oh yeah, smart box. It's really annoying me. Yeah. But this will never work again, I assume. Indicate spawn box, skills, environment, rain. So it could definitely, from our skill menu, we can create a new skill, which is Hydro 2, and H2 skill. So what you do with a skill is that you select an animation, which I personally like the quick chant for this game at first, until I really reach the point where I need to balance things with like animation times, maybe, or like multiple casts or something like that. That's also another thing that you can really influence projectiles, so yeah. So we want general quick chant. And want to apply our Hydro 1 skill. And the reason why we need a node graph for each of these skills and cannot just fill in, because I just haven't found out how to pass parameters to these skill node graphs. I don't know. I don't think that you have node graph variables there. So basically I'm just going to copy this, name it H2 skill, and all that I'm going to do is to change either the projector prefab. No. I haven't created a projectile, but I do think that I can just make that rain cloud with a projectile. Yes. This thing should have a cooldown, yeah, definitely. And it doesn't consume a resource, it builds a resource. I don't know how I can do that. But it definitely has like... I think that will be more short-lived. Like more 5-second thing. And we give it a 10-second cooldown. The projectile for that would then be H2 projectile. We definitely want an empty object with no collision. Then we are searching for suitable VFX. Like for this, it was the looping Samacho whatever hydro thingy. I think we used it at zoom factor 2, but I do want to make the active skill smaller than the hazard. And I also want to make it more short-lived. It doesn't follow the rotation. It doesn't follow the location. Oh yeah, the VFX does follow the location, but it doesn't move. So first off, we don't want it to move, yeah. Like 0. And we want it to trigger repeatedly every 2 seconds which is a shame that you cannot adjust this. Like, this would be interesting if I could, depending on the level of the character, do something with the skills. And this is yeah, I cannot affect those values really, and I think I could on the server. But whatever. We want collision, but we want only the hostile creations to be affected and hit in their hurt box. I wanted to say nuts, but okay. So our actual damage for this is actually quite similar. Then it is add unit status and there we have very interesting things. But what we can just do is affected by hydro. But we add more aura to it, because we can. Let's go crazy. Let's make people really wet. Okay. So that's the H2 projectile, and this also needs to destroy itself at some point. And we say like 20. Nah, because we have life cycle options for these projectiles. So we're just going to say this thing lasts for 5 seconds. And at the end it will just destroy itself. The other ability unit is add unit status. So this is basically our on-hit ability. And now we just have to define the on-hit area, which we set to a sphere of 10 or 5 meters in this case, right? Let's have a look whether that somehow fits, you know. I mean, it must have fit the circle. Oh yeah, well... Almost. Over there. So this should be our skill then, and this is our prefab ID that we will put into the fixed point projectile launch in our skill node graph. The short explanation for this is basically just when it's connected to the animation graph, when the animation fires, I will just fire a projectile launch with the prefab of the projectile that we just added. And where we are doing that, good question. I'm not really sure what. That's the attachment point for the right hand. You can customize these. Right or left hand, for example, would be hand R or hand O. And then the projectile won't fire from like your body center, but actually the palm of your hand. So the H2 skill should work then. Then we go into prefabs. And our... where was it? Stage, right? Hydro upgrade. Didn't copy the skill. We need the H2 skill. Configuration ID here. We need to put that into our skill 2. And this should be okay now. I will see whether both of these actually have it now. But this is the one with the level, yeah? Level 2, level 1, yeah, okay, let's go. No. Actually, I cannot get there. No. No. Okay, that's pretty stupid. Actually, the collider should be big enough. I think that we should have collided. So I just think that the level thing doesn't really work. But we will have a look into our log this time. Okay. Where's the log? The log just crashed. Thank you. Okay, let's have a look. No. Okay. Apparently I'm not colliding with a player or a character. The hell? Well, it does work the first time. Is it a non-repeating trigger? Then it shouldn't trigger so often. Oof. What's that, cryo? Pyro? And the hydro ones just don't work. Okay, Anemo and Hydro don't work. Oh, why? Just why? that is 5.3. I think that was 5.3, yeah. That's a non-repeating trigger. That's odd. Should be fair. I'm not quite sure. Especially because it does work for the others, which is quite odd. So where are skills? 5.2 is Electro. 5.1 is Pyro. 5.3 is Animal. 4 is Hydro. I really don't know. I will try to solve that. So, okay, what I want to do now is to make my environmental hazard, the rain, like add the wet status, but it doesn't do that anymore since the hit that it caused actually doesn't deal damage anymore. My ability unit down here doesn't deal damage anymore, and therefore also doesn't apply Hydro, which is not ideal. So I'm thinking of just not adding this and create a node graph, as this is a server thing anyway, and try to, just when the hit collision is triggered, to just add a unit status, right? So I want to add a wet status. I have to kind of have a look in my projectiles, because they do have the add unit status affected by Hydro. So this is something I'm going to screenshot, because I don't think that you can copy these. No. But yeah, I'm gonna put that into the node graph variable, right? I'm not sure what it is, if it's a configuration ID or I don't know. We will see. That node graph variable, and here we're adding a configuration ID, I guess, which is the status, and let's just say the default here is wet 10100016, and also stacks is an integer 1. And we want to get our two node graph variables here. That's our stacks. They will go into the applied stacks, which is an integer and should be an integer. What's the issue? Does that work? Yeah. Okay. So basically, this node graph here, which we are going to call cause status on hit. We're going to attach this now. This we're going to delete. We're going back here at the node graph. Cause status on hit. Oh, these are not public yet. Boom, boom. So the status here is correct, and this is correct. So we will just save this, and I think that should be it. Oh, we should, yeah, we could also add a time to live here, but I also created that one, which is a quite useful component to have, like a time to live, where you can just configure how long something will live before it dies, and then you configure a timer in there. It's just like you just need like a library of these components, really, and kind of good. That's so mean. Whoa. Okay, the wetness works, I guess. Ow, 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 ow. Oh, damn it. Shut up. Uh-oh. It's odd. It should be way wetter. I also like how their aggro just works. Everybody else is ignoring me. Those mages and cryo flowers there. Whoa. Okay. Also a nice stress test how many entities I can spawn here. Do however think that they're not getting wet. Ow. Please let go. Okay. Yeah, my skills are just not strong enough to manage that onslaught. But also, unfortunately, my rain did not do what it should. So, the path movement is fine, the on hit if it's a repeating trigger every 2 seconds. Characters and creations on their headbox. See, maybe we should add a print here. So, wait. Yeah, but it takes shape. It takes shape. So what we cannot do, like this is ice arena stuff, right? This is my spawn box for the ice arena. This is not what we can do with the first stage because no. Because obviously, like when you only have one element, like you want to pick cryo and the first stage immediately is cryo, then you're kind of screwed. Which is why I think that I might add another spawn box here. Oh, I should have just copied that one. Maybe I also changed the order. I don't know. There's so many things that I have to do. Like loot, the whole number scaling thing. So many skills that are missing. Don't have anything for Dendro or Cryo. And for that matter, I wanted to actually try out a melee skill, a melee instant skill that is. And I think it's going to be ice. I don't know if this will be a projectile, this will be a skill. C1 skill. I think I want this to be an instant skill. But maybe with a cooldown of like 0.5 seconds or so. Oh, that's bad. That's my default skill. Icon. But I don't want that. I want default to be actually this question mark thing. The thing is that I don't really know. Oh, skill node graphs. C1 skill. But VFX. Can I add VFX playtime defects? Good. That's precisely what I want. So we are going to pick one now. But I think I do want this. Oh yeah, what do I want? Dynamic other empty. Yes. And we just want to find a VFX, yeah, a timed VFX that is. Like slash. Cryo projectile launch. does? No. 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 What the hell? Oh, but the cryo shockwave looks very cool. Cool it. Well, maybe I'm using that for the skill, like a frost nova, to send that in all the directions. Oh, there's an actual frost nova. Oh, that's... this was all the cryo slime, which is not great. Cryo abyss mage. That one is quite good. At least it's a slash. Should be a lot of these, yeah. Maybe even a more cryo-y one. Welche war es denn jetzt? 19. Okay. So now we have our effect for the projectile. If it is a projectile, we don't need that. It is 100122171. The zoom multiplier, I think we have to make that kind of smaller. Ooh. This is not particularly great. So I'm going to add that again. It was Mago, Kenki, melee attack. Seven one. Cryo attack, yeah. So melee attack. That's the one. And now I need probably hit attack. This is kinda odd. Goes into negative Z. Then let's question whether. Let's see, what I do need here. We need an ability unit. Will be a hitbox attack. Sphere. Radius 2, I guess. Bit too well. Actually be bigger. They're quite big. I'll go cryo. This is, to be fair, this is much easier. ladder is somewhere. Here. That fit. I think that if the effect should be maybe a little bit lower. Because we're just smaller. Margot Kenki. The hitbox can go down as well. So what that means, our hitbox configuration. Taking spherical hitbox at specification. Yeah, spheric, I think. Yeah, please hostile function. So the radius, what did we have for radius of the sphere hitbox? 2. Tag layer filter. And it hurtbox. Wow. Elemental type, cryo. Elemental attack potency is as always one hit type slash attack type. Melee attack. Interrupt value 1. I don't know. Absolute damage, no. Knockback orientation. Block damage pop up. No. Wow. What zoom multiplier did we have for the effect? One zero zero one two 186. With zoom 0.3, and we don't really want to play that sound because it's kind of annoying. Okay, now then we go back to our skills and have to see one skill. It's kind of nice. Oh, cool. Still a little bit too far up, let's say. Mm. And now we go to the cryo. We need the skill ID. Add that to cryo. Here. Yeah. And of course we can also have a cryo trail. Whoa, what? So I think I might have found the issue here. And it might be the faction filter, because own faction for most things should be just objects. And then they won't collide with characters. And I just set the filter to only characters. I really hope that I can now pick up my skills up to level 3, and it should also change my class. No. So after I fought through some stages, well, that didn't work. That didn't work. Is my pyro also broken now? Oh, nice. The Electro still works. That's very odd. Also doesn't change the class really. Which is just really, really odd. Why are these still triggering? And why are these triggering for stuff that is not... I mean, it should only trigger me, yeah? But it still triggers Electro Upgrade, does trigger. Which is the only thing that still works. I guess. It definitely does do something here. I don't understand what precisely. Because I think they all trigger. And the log again crashed, yeah? Thank you. Not annoying at all. It's here. Shouldn't be here. Just nothing else triggers. Right? Electron upgrade, electron upgrade. High roll. No. None of them triggers. Okay. That's not great. But I don't want it to... It is a non-repeating trigger here. Oh, it is a repeating trigger here. Does the repeating trigger work? I mean, it shouldn't, really. Why did it actually delay time? No. Oh well. Might make sense here, actually. Okay, this should be now the what? Hydro upgrade. Let's see if I get some logs. Now they should come from Hydro. Nah. Just doesn't trigger. At all. That's very odd. Can I set my faction for this? Into collision visibility create faction. Default faction settings, whatever that means. For objects, and this is an object, I assume. No, it is a repeating trigger. Own faction, because I changed it here now. Should also not have a repeating trigger, but they're just not triggering. The only thing that's triggering is the electro. Because it's not updated. As I broke the prefab connection once. Oh, there was now finally a hydro upgrade. But to be fair, that looks way better, and the electro is just spamming my log. So I think that should be the way to go. Like, have a faction filter for all of these. Oof. Always fun. Animal. Cryo. Dendro. Electro. Geo. Okay. So, all of these. Can I copy this? Nope. Can I copy this? Nope. So this needs to be the mages. And this was characters hurt box own faction. And it shouldn't matter. 0.5. Can I copy this? No. Oh man. So we made an hour work for hydro, yeah. So repeating trigger on faction. So that was this. Cryo still needs to be in the mages faction. And then, oh, it doesn't even have one yet. On hit detection, use these filters, own faction, characters, hard box. And the faction goes mages. We want to add a hit detection with a repeating trigger at 0.5. We want to add own faction, characters, and hurt box. The on-hit area here is more like a capsule. And we are in the mages, yeah. Okay, so that should gonna work. Of course, I don't have prefabs yet for that. So the node graph is also not added. And skill and pickup. Here as well. And skill and pickup. Electro. So this is a repeating trigger, yeah, but we definitely want own faction and characters with their hotbox. And you're also going to be mage faction. What? That's Geo. On hit detection with capsule that repeats with a 0.5 delay for its own faction characters at the hurt box. Okay. Hydro upgrade. No native collision. First off, well, they do have native collision. I don't care. So on hit detection, repeating trigger, own faction characters. What's your faction? Mage is nice. Whatever. Mages. On hit detection, repeating trigger, I guess. Faction filter, own faction characters, redbox. Okay. Now my skills pickups should work, also with leveled up versions. My rain projectile did not work as intended. It's a little projectile. That is 5 seconds. 5 seconds. Should be all good. Does look correct. 2 projectile, let's see. Skill. Oh, that's correct. See whether the skill is the right thing. Skill. Oof, why so little icons? There we still need the H2 to find the H2 skill. That's interesting. It doesn't make wet anymore because it deals 0 damage. So the last thing that I wanted to do is kind of figure out why the hell I cannot have a continuous spouting of water with my H1 skill actually. This is the issue. No matter where I put this, I just cannot get like a continuous stream of like just emitting, which is bad. Yeah, it's not firing. I do wonder whether there is some kind of callback for this. Not sure if anything here helps. Camera orientation detection data. Okay. There's also no end to this, no? But it, yeah, unfortunately the hold skills didn't really work out as I liked. So I'd much rather have a normal skill or even an instant skill. The normal skill also doesn't have a hold version now. No. So we had like 10-second cooldown here. And we will just start. Oh, what's that Hydro one? That was the one without cooldown. The question is, how instant is this? Pretty instant. And the projector also did not hit anything. So it looks hostile. Is a non-repeating trigger, which is correct. Here it doesn't really do anything. Water hit. When it hits. And life cycle settings. Yeah, like 2 even. Inherited from character. It's actually a water hit here. Okay, let's see. And after I have finished all of my skills, it's basically just finish game logic and do like numbers. I changed my skill. Usually that means that that I didn't add this. So now it should work a little bit. Don't think that 5 seconds is enough for that thing. Okay, now I don't really know. Because it was not saved. That's why I pressed Control S. But it saved the stage instead of the skill. It would be so nice if I could just hold this down. Yeah, this might be too strong. Especially with like the animal skill. Which is quite likely my favorite already. For that I would actually need more enemies, and stronger enemies, but the stronger enemies don't spawn. I also think that I have to adjust my creations at least for the baseline here. I don't think that I can be level 1. It's more like... Oh. Please no. 3 Ashans. These are pretty strong enough, but the tiny ones, they might deserve like a higher level. I don't know if that changes a lot. I think that's just not low enough. And some hilly chores. Oh, okay. Save prevent. Okay. And also I want to know what's wrong with my spawn box. And why the hell it doesn't seem to spawn any other enemy. Because it should have a weighted random in there of what the enemies to spawn. So the spawn box took effect. Common, okay. Vocabulary of 40 will be set to that. finite loop 0 to 4. Current loop value 5. That's okay. There's literally only the common, because the weighted random here is interesting. Weighted is 0, okay. Yeah. Always 0, huh? Weighted random. Okay, where was that? Random. Get random number, addition, get random number, get random number. Weighted random. Okay. That is definitely an a query node. Oh, why is it not here in here? Demo guide tutorial? I don't know. Well, it wasn't the notes here, not in the introduction. Why is the random not here? Oh man. Okay. My only other guess, because I just saw that somewhere in Discord. By the way, Discord is a very good source. The Genshin Impact Creator Front is nice, and Genshin Impact Miliastra Wonderland, even though the Miliastra Wonderland is more of a Discord server for players, while the Genshin Impact Creator Front is more for devs. So, my only idea why this doesn't work is that these actually need to be in decimal format, which makes it's integer lists. Okay. Yeah. entities created. When timer is triggered, and it's actually 1. Not here though, again 0. Oh, this time it's 2! That's actually great, but it just doesn't do what it should. The fuck, man? Where's the what? Okay, Miliastra Wonderland crashed, apparently. Thanks. Thank you for opening that app again. Did I need to do anything? That was something. But I do have custom variables. That should have way different enemies. And if I can also see my actual graph. So this time at least it went into other states. I have the common, uncommon, and rare variables here. Should be fine. Oh, let's see. It was 0 again, yeah. That is fine. Oh no! Okay, maybe it was my fault. It's still only tier 1 enemies. Because I closed it this time. Oh, probably last time as well. Maybe I'm just tired. I should go. But I would love if this just worked. And this time maybe I'm not closing it. Entity, stage, spawn box, confirm. It's just because I want to record this. Usually this is on my second monitor and this is way better. Also to have my debug graph there, but for showing purposes I think it's quite nice. So my first spawn box effect is when it triggered. Okay, that's not massively interesting. Now it spawned the first things. And it was 0. Okay, I don't care. It was again 0. And again and 0. So now we have a 1. That's better. So we definitely have different things here, yeah. For 2. And we are setting the local variable to something that ends with 4 for 1. Break loop. I think that's wired incorrectly here. They should all go on. This doesn't do anything. Okay, yeah, that's okay. Strange. Mysterious. So this is happening when you're doing too many things at once and then just forget to wire things. I was very blind here. So so that just no. Yes, yes. And maybe there will actually different enemies that spawn, that would be nice. This worked already, but I really worked on my spawn box so I could configure what kind of entities they spawn, because they could also just as well spawn like these environmental effects. And now let's just equip these. Ooh, rough. And that's when he realized that he fucked up. Oh, that's pretty rough. 4 Abyss Mages. I'm so glad that they don't go for me. Ooh, rough. Oh. I think this is going to be very fun. But this is enough for now. We will see the next update. Thanks for watching.